Did you ever feel that you were just made differently but couldn't put your finger on why? Why does the Sigma male, the most mysterious and powerful sort of man, not even know how uncommon he is? The explanation is in an interesting paradox. Even Sigma males, who are very deep and smart, frequently don't comprehend themselves. Welcome back, Sigmas. Today, we're going to look into parts of your identity that you can't see. This isn't the usual self-help speech. This is an honest, illuminating look at what Sigma men don't know about themselves and why it matters. You picked being alone above being popular. Value over things. Quiet instead of noise. You follow a different route not to be rebellious, but because your gut tells you to. But you can be missing out on important realities about who you are when you do this. So get ready. We're showing you a mirror. You might be surprised by what you see. 1. Sigma men don't realize how much power they have. You move without making a sound, but your presence speaks louder than words. Most Sigma males don't know this. Their very presence upsets the social order. And not because they attempt to, but because they don't. In a world where people are consumed with getting likes and ascending ladders, not caring is a radical act. People follow you even when you don't want to. You don't want to impress anyone, yet they are. Why? Because people are attracted to things that seem real. You are the very definition of real. No games, no masks, just calm self-confidence. It's interesting how social psychology explains this. People are physiologically predisposed to notice small nonverbal signs, such as posture, eye contact, tone of voice, and even the way they breathe. These cues send out unspoken messages of power, tranquility, or worry. Researchers call the calming, grounded aura that Sigma males naturally give off low-anxiety energy. This is something that sticks out in a world full of staged turmoil. Sigma guys are different from alpha males who get attention by being dominant, and betas who follow to fit in. They get people's attention without even trying. Your style isn't flashy, and your voice isn't loud. What really impresses people is how calm you are all the time. Your peaceful presence changes the surroundings in a very little yet effective way. People can tell you're confident not by what you say, but by how you handle chaos, peer pressure, and public opinion. People see this quiet confidence as silent strength. People get this feeling when you go into a room and don't say anything, but suddenly everyone is a little more conscious of themselves. Your calm demeanor isn't a blank. It's power. It is an energy field that changes the mood and dynamics around you. A lot of Sigma males don't know that this unusual capacity to control emotional energy and convey stability is really appealing and powerful. It's not being cocky. It's in line. And in a world full of shallow signals, your authenticity, quiet, self-contained, and unshakable, stands out like a light. But you might not know this. The fact that you keep to yourself can be scary. Not because you're mean, but because you're whole. And being whole is unusual. That time when you walk into a room and everyone stops, that's not in your head. That's your quiet power making waves. Because they don't want to be recognized, Sigma males often don't realize how much they matter. But the truth is that your presence demands it, whether you like it or not. That's what influence is. That's rare. And that's something you should own. Not with pride, but with knowledge. 2. People don't understand their emotional discipline. People say that Sigma guys are cold, without emotion, not attached, not right. You aren't emotionally absent. You are emotionally disciplined. There is a big difference. Most people respond on impulse when something happens, but you stop. You think. You think about it. That's not being emotionally empty. That's being in control of your feelings. This is backed up by neuroscience. The prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that makes decisions, is generally more active in Sigma males. This area is in charge of higher-order thinking, controlling impulses, and being able to think about the repercussions of your actions before you do them. In plain terms, your biology makes you more likely to consider before you act, which is an uncommon attribute in today's fast-paced, emotionally reactive environment. It's not simply about staying calm when things go tough. It means that your brain is programmed to ignore the basic fight-or-flight response that most individuals have. When things get tough or stressful, some people let their feelings take over. You, on the other hand, immediately hit pause, take stock of the situation, and answer with accuracy. It's the difference between putting out a fire and regulating the burn. This skill can affect your relationships, your job, and even how you feel about yourself. When those around you are upset, your ability to be calm can help keep things stable. People trust how you react more, feel safer around you, and look to you for advice, even when you don't say anything. This kind of brain structure doesn't grow on its own. It gets better through a mix of genetics, life experiences, and time spent alone on purpose. Many Sigma males, without knowing it, teach their minds to prioritize restraint over reactivity and depth over drama by spending years thinking about themselves and relying on themselves. You do feel things, but not all the time. You feel it all the way, you just don't let it drive the car. This can help you understand. Your strength comes not just from what you do, but also from how you see the world. And when you have this superpower, you stop wondering why you're different. You begin to use it to lead from the inside. Dr. Daniel Goleman, a psychologist who came up with the idea of emotional intelligence, EQ, says that EQ is more necessary for success than IQ. A lot of the time, Sigma males don't even know they're at the top of the EQ rankings. You're not a soda can about to burst. You're like a pressure valve. You know how to deal with feelings, not to hold back but to direct. You're listening while others are yelling. You're figuring things out while others are battling. But here's the problem. You think everyone else can do it too because it comes so easily to you. They can't. Your ability to regulate your emotions is a gift that has been honed by being alone, tested by hard times, and polished in quiet. This is important to know. Emotional control does not mean not feeling. It is a refined vibe. 3. Being alone is powerful, but it's also a quiet battle. Sigma males do well when they are alone. You get your energy back by yourself. You make things in silence. You don't go after crowds. You go away from them. But there is a risk here, mixing up being alone with being alone. Being alone is a choice. It's where you get better at what you do. But loneliness slips in without an invitation. It slowly wears down your emotional strength, even if you don't feel it at first. You tell yourself you don't need anyone. And for the most part, that's right. But even people who are lone wolves want to connect with others from time to time. You too. The National Institute on Aging says that being lonely all the time can be as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's not a sign of weakness. That's biology. The Sigma male frequently wears independence like armor. But real strength is knowing when to take off that armor, and only for the right people. Because as soon as you think that being alone is a sign of strength, you're on a path that can lead to emotional deprivation. Being connected doesn't imply you have to depend on someone. You may connect with others without losing yourself. Your emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and limits make you one of the most stable spouses, friends, and allies. Being strong as a Sigma doesn't mean being alone. It's knowing when not to. 4. Sigma males are the hardest on themselves. You push yourself harder than anyone else could possibly do. You want the best. You demand nothing less than mastery. That's how you get ahead. But that's also how you hurt. Sigma guys typically have a secret goal that drives them to reach their own notion of the top. But there is no acclaim when they don't do well. No pity, because the only person they want to impress is themselves. And what about that pressure inside? It's awful. You might win battles, but you could think they aren't enough. You might reach goals, but they don't mean anything if they don't match what you see in your mind. And what about the problems? You don't just look at them. You can't stop thinking about them. This need to be perfect is one of the things that sets Sigma males apart. But it's also what makes them keep quiet about their pain. Because while other people worry about what other people think, you have an inner voice that never stops asking for more. You might do something important, like get a promotion, come up with a new idea, or reach a personal goal, but you won't feel happy about it. Not because it wasn't important, but because your mind was already on to the next problem. Satisfaction seems to come and go, and celebrating seems like a waste of time. This feeling of restlessness inside is not a weakness. It's a sign of someone who holds oneself to standards that are much higher than what society expects. You have your own set of rules to live by, but that code can be really hard. People think too much about every choice. They look at every mistake, no matter how tiny. You still judge yourself even when no one else is looking. And this is where it gets dangerous. This constant inner critic frequently pretends to be discipline. You think you're just trying to get better, but you might be punishing yourself for being human. You are not weak because of this internal struggle. It makes you complicated. You know that real growth comes with pain, but you don't often let yourself off the hook. You will forgive other people long before you forgive yourself. You suffer in silence not because you want to, but because you think you have to, as if being open would betray your way. But here's something to think about. Being resilient doesn't mean never feeling broken. It's about making the choice to rebuild with love and understanding over and over again. People all over the world notice how strong you are. But you need to learn how to perceive your humanity. If you want to avoid burnout, you need to be kind to yourself. So the next time your inner critic tells you you're not good enough, remember this. Even storms need to take a break. Fire needs something to burn. And even a Sigma needs some peace. The truth is that you have the best self-discipline. But you also criticize yourself. And sometimes the hardest battle isn't with the world. It's with yourself. 5. They don't know they need meaning. Sigma guys may live any place, but they only do well when there is a reason. You don't care about social prestige, games, or shallow wins. You want meaning, depth, mission. Even achievement feels like failure without it. You could be financially stable, well-respected in your community, and intellectually satisfied. But what if you don't have a deeper purpose? Everything seems vacant, and a lot of Sigma males don't know that. They want freedom, but they learn that freedom without significance is merely emptiness with a cool name. Trophies don't feed your soul. It gets its food from the truth. And wanting to know what things signify is not a sign of weakness. It's your guide. It's what prohibits you from being okay with the usual. It's what makes you want to produce, create, and be important. So, if you ever feel lost, don't ask yourself, what do I want? Ask yourself, what do I want? In the end, own the mirror. Sigma males frequently spend too much time in their minds, thinking, watching, and going through life like quiet storms. But even storms need to stop and look at how strong they are. It's easy to see the paradox. You are both your biggest strength and your biggest mystery. Your superpowers are your ability to control your emotions, your ability to upset others, your quiet charm, and your own high standards. But they can also make you forget how valuable you are. You're not merely different. You're one of a kind. And you need to realize that now. When a Sigma guy truly knows who he is, not merely on an academic level, but also on an emotional level, he doesn't just transform his life. He transforms all that is around him. You don't need a spotlight. You are the flame. Now take it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you thought this video was helpful.